My dear students, we are almost at the end of the course. So far we have discussed number of topics related to recruitment and selection. Just remember, when we started our first course on the first day, the main topic was human resource planning. Then we discussed about recruitment practices. Then we also talk about different concepts of employment testing. And then we talk about various interviewing practices. And today we are going to start our last module, and that is about employee orientation. Because employee orientation is also the part of recruitment and selection. And sometimes this topic is overlapped with another human resource management practice called as training and development. So it is a start of training and development practices, but it is also an end of recruitment and selection practices. Let's have a talk about different concepts of employee orientation. First of all, just to establish the objective of employee orientation, I want to give you a very interesting example. And that example is actually the conversation between one of the new employee and his wife. So let's talk about that example. Let's have a look on a conversation between Ali, Hardcore Industries' newest industrial engineer, and his wife Sarah. So you must need to know about the two roles. Ali is actually the newly appointed industrial engineer of Hardcore Industries, and Sarah is his wife. It is the evening of Ali's first day of work, and Sarah is anxious to hear how things went on the first day of Ali in the newest organization called as Hardcore Industries. So how was your first day at Hardcore? She asks. Ali answers without hesitation, I couldn't have asked for a better day. I had the first part of my orientation in the morning and learned a great deal about the company without feeling overwhelmed. This was an answer of an Ali to his wife. Then I met everyone in my department and had lunch with my manager. What a fantastic thing it is. The name of the manager is Samia. Samia took me on a tour of operations, and I started to get a feel for how my department interact with other functions in the company. If my department is operation, so how operations are interacted with human resource management department, how operations are interacting with marketing department, how operations are interacting with production, how operations are interacting with finance department. So there was a whole tour of the different functions of the company, and I met different kind of managers. Wow, says Sarah, obviously it is a fantastic thing that on the first day in the organization, the person has an interaction with number of departments, including his own department. It sounds like an ideal introduction to a new job. It was, replies Ali. Best of all, I felt welcomed. I belonged there. So this is a beautiful thing, my dear student, that someone is a newcomer in an organization and the person is feeling welcome in the organization. The person is feeling a belongingness to that organization. This is one of the fantastic and the most beautiful concept of employee orientation. There's no doubt in my mind that this was a smart move for me. Just think how Ali is perceiving his first day. He is assuming that this was the best move for me to be the part of any organization. I feel as if I have a real future at Hardcore. If you could listen to employees talk about their first day of work at your company, that's the kind of conversation you want to hear. So we have given example that if someone is appointed newly in the organization and he has served his first day in the organization, what he would feel like and what kind of conversation of that newly appointed employee with his wife or any other person who is related to him. First and foremost, orientation program should focus on affirming a person's decision to join your company. So the person should not feel regret. The person should affirm a person's decisions to join the company on the first day. There's nothing worse than making a career move only to have regrets shortly thereafter. So it is a very bad thing that you have a first day in the company and you are feeling regret that I made a mistake to be the part of this organization. That's why just imagine how important is the employee orientation program. As such, the orientation process should embellish what the employees learned during his interview. So this is very important. Topics to be expanded upon may include the organization's mission, the organization values, the organization corporate culture, and how individual goals can coexist with those of the organization while supporting the culture. So 4 important concepts: vision, mission, values, and corporate culture, and how the individual goals are linked with organizational goal, how the person effort would make the organization successful. So this is a beautiful thing which must need to be mentioned on the first day of an employee. Orientation program also help with employees retention. This is one of the key things for the employee retention strategy. With employee turnover, employee turnover is a very dangerous thing for the organization. And with employee turnover costing as much as 2.5 times an employee's annual salary. So if some of your employees drawing a salary of $100,000 a year, it would cost almost 2.5 times more than the annual salary of the person to whom you are going to appoint, if you are just making a wrong thing in the organization on a very start. In addition to affirming person decision to join your company and helping with employee retention, employee orientation also serve to reduce the possibility of costly litigation and unnecessary disciplinary action. So yes, employee turnover is a worst thing, but the worst than the worst thing that because of some of your actions on the first day or on the initial stages of an employee career in your organization may lead to costly litigation and unnecessary disciplinary action. It would cost you much more than the employee turnover. If employee turnover is costing you 2.5 times of the salary of the person, the annual salary of the person, the costly litigation costs you too much more than it. So you must need to avoid all these things in the employee orientation program, and it is better to focus on employee orientations in your organization.